Let's say the only hope we have is that in this election, the common real Egyptians, the enlightened Egyptians, will go out there and vote for the liberal, for the secular, for the civil society.
Naguib Sawiris is one of Egypt's richest, multi-billionaire involved in everything from cell phones to hotels. He also cares about his country. In fact, he was an intermediary between protesting students and Hosni Mubarak during the early days of the Arab Spring in January. Sawiris had great hopes about what those days would bring. But when we sat down late last week, even before the latest bloody riots Cairo's Tahrir Square is seeing now, it was clear his mood had changed considerably. It's been 9 months since the new Egypt was born. And we were used to, in those days, seeing you looking very optimistic, excited, eager, smiling. Hasn't been so much of that lately. What's gone wrong?
Well, the biggest mistake was that the young people who did the revolution, with a lot of good intentions, left the scene. And the scene was then hijacked by religious activists, I want to call them extremists. All the good notions, the good principles, the fight for freedom and let's say the happiness of getting rid of the dictatorship now is compensated by the fact that we are worried from a new type of dictatorship, a religious one, So there is no more smiling, I would say.
And is it irretrievable? Has it gone too far?
It's not done yet. I mean, we have the elections coming up in 2 weeks, but
you don't sound very optimistic about it.
You can't be, because if you take the mathematics, I mean, we're all the liberal parties, we are newly born, 6 months old, and we're getting into a fight against a coalition of religious forces that have been in preparation for that day for 8 years. They are well organized, well funded from Qatar and Saudi Arabia. We are coming 6 months old. We are not funded at all. We have very limited resources, and we're supposed to go.
You've got lots of resources.
Well, I cannot pay the bill for the whole country on my own. The Muslim Brotherhood has received $100 million from Qatar during the revolution. So that's a lot of money. I mean, how can you match that?
And what about Iran and Saudi Arabia?
No, I think Iran are not mixed up in our elections, but Saudi Arabia, some individuals also are financing some of the Salafis.
You're worried if this continues along this path that Egypt could become another Iran.
Yes, I am.
Because of the religious connection.
Yeah, not only religious. If they abolish the civil nature of the country and they decide for a religious country that has a religion, is governed by religion, and mainly it's an Islamic religion, so also, even as a Christian, I would feel uncomfortable, let's say, from accepting such a reign, And all the moderate Muslims, which are friends of ours and who believe in the modern Egypt, don't want that too. Let's say the only hope we have is that in this election, the common real Egyptians, the enlightened Egyptians, will go out there and vote for the liberal, for the secular, for the civil society country. Now the problem we have is that many of them are passive. Many of them, I call them the party of the couch. They sit at home, watch TV and think life will go on. And it will not go on. It's like, if you want to get a good example, is when you remember the Iranian Revolution.